Happy, what day is it today? Friday? Jeez, it's late in the week. Sorry about that. But at least this time I have an excuse. I have a website now. So if you haven't, go check out the video I uploaded the day before I uploaded this video. That has some details in there, and enjoy. Anyway, it is now time for a live commentary. So we have right here for your viewing pleasure the second semifinal from the Tauber World Cup that happened a week or two ago. This one is between Kiefer and Ina Deriglazova, a marquee matchup if ever there was one in women's foil. These two have fenced each other a lot recently. Right now, Ina is ranked 1 in the world, and I think Lee is 3rd, maybe 2nd? I don't know exactly. But these two are pretty close to the top in terms of skill. I commentated one bout of theirs before from the same Tauber World Cup back in 2016, and in that Ina won pretty convincingly, but Lee wasn't looking on her best. So right now, let's check out what happens in this bout. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're going to have Lee on the left, Ina on the right. I'm going to call them by their first names just because their last names are a little bit longer. And let's get this underway. So, as I've brought up before, Ina is ranked 1 in the world for a very good reason. She is really good at controlling distance. That's probably her best skill. Of course, her blade work is very good too. Lee attacks right off the line, and it's way short, and... That could be an issue. Something wrong with her blade? Well, that's a fantastic way to start out the bout with a technical problem. The referee is going to take a look at that. Could be any number of things. Could be a short in the weapon. Wire may have broken. Or not, sorry, not a short in the weapon. A break in the circuit of the weapon. I think she's going to go ahead and switch that. Yep. So, kind of a false start there for this bout. What more can we talk about? Well, I don't remember the results. These two have fenced each other basically in like the finals or semifinals of every tournament they go to because they're both so good. So whenever they meet, the stakes are usually pretty high. Yeah, so this is, they're both very used to each other by now. I can't remember the last time I saw their pages on the FIE website. I believe they fenced like at least 10 times in big tournaments. And there, like I said, Ina's stop hit, that was facilitated 100% by her distance control though. She's able to keep up with Lee's very quick march. Lee, of course, being an American, does favor a bit of marching attacks, although here, steps in with the counterattack right as Ina starts her attack. In women's foil, actions like that are very powerful. If you can get a lunge right when your opponent's starting to march, they're not going to be quite ready to finish. And it seems especially prevalent in women's foil that actions like that, where you kind of bank on your opponent not being able to finish immediately, are very powerful. Ooh, Ina should have hit there. I don't know what's going on. Infight and halt. Lee was maybe trying to go behind the back at that last bit right there. It looks like there may have been a bit of a suspect thing from Ina, though. Her weapon may have an issue. And again, is she just missing? It's kind of sloppy to start things off. Lee gets an off target, but don't really know how. She is kind of forcing that close distance situation, and steps in with the parry post. Goes off target, though. Again, being able to break inside the distance is very important against someone like Ina because she's going to try and put herself in the perfect place to get one light. What's the final call? I couldn't really hear the referee, but it's one light, so we can brush that one under the rug. Now Ina marches. Now note, Ina's march is pretty relaxed compared to Lee's, and again, Lee just lunges right into it, and is a little bit lucky that Ina couldn't finish there. Oh wait, no. Ina got off target. I didn't see that light. Now that should be Ina's attack. Yep. Came out a little bit stronger off the line. Ina preps off the line. Maybe it's attack and prep for Lee. Maybe she's a little bit late and it's counterattack. But regardless, makes Ina miss. And this time, Lee's attack a little bit faster and a little longer with the finish. Ina's attempt at a stop hit doesn't work. But there's the stop it again. Like, with Ina, it's really, really hard to set up attacks well. Especially, ooh. Yikes. Manages to get through her knees as she's backing away. That was just kind of sloppy blade work on Lee's part. Very fast scoring bout so far. Less than a minute and already 8 points on the board. Parry post attempt. Ina steps back in with a disengage. Goes off target, though. I'm kind of surprised Lee hasn't been pulling a little bit more distance. She's been going pretty aggressively for a closer distance situation. Huh. And now Ina might be having some trouble. There were a few touches before that I felt like Ina should have turned a light on but didn't. But this isn't the same type of problem. Just getting an intermittent off target like that. So Ina's also going to switch weapons. And we get a bit of a breather. This is a pretty fast one. Like I said, I'm kind of surprised Lee's been going for so many... it's not quite that she's rushing, but she is coming on pretty strong with these attacks and trying to get really close to Ina. Of course, that mitigates Ina's ability to stop hit as well. And that is one of her main strengths, is being able to pull distance and turn a light on. But I don't know if that's going to be the best solution, because Ina can't keep up with that speed going backwards, and she is good enough to still find an opportunity to throw a stop hit out there. Whether or not she lands it may still be up for debate, but we shall see. Again, long attack from Lee. It's off target though. That is nice. Now that's, again, the tempo of that attack that time was a bit slower, so I don't know. This time, again though, with stop hit stepping back. That is absolutely deadly. Like, that time Lee was trying to stay on the blade as well, but still no dice. She could have finished there, but didn't. Again, Ina keeps the distance wide. That time she was looking for parry post, and she gets it. That may be a little bit questionable, though. I wish I could see the slow motion, as always. Someone's saying something over the intercom, but I don't know what it is. And the call is reversed, and it's Lee's. Yeah. Alright, Ina keeps on marching. Lee keeps the distance pretty wide here. Ina finishes, and again, this march is pretty fast from Lee. The cross steps are kind of dangerous. Ina could definitely stop hit into those if she's a little closer, but this time she just parry her posts. And you could see at the end there, Lee couldn't even arrest her forward motion. Like, she was kind of running onto Ina's point as she was making the riposte. This time, though, she lands it, taking the blade very lightly on the way in, so no chance of it accidentally being Ina's parry. This time, Ina's parry post tries to remise too, but just out of distance. That should be Ina's. Yep. Wow. Okay, so honestly, these situations have kind of been a toss-up. Like, Ina's march, or sorry, Lee's march feels just a little bit dangerous. But in situations like this where she can pull things back. Because Ina's, I'm getting them confused too much. Ina's attacks are a little bit, well, not this one. Although Lee is again going to ask for a video review on that. It looked maybe simul, but there may have been a way to parse that out. Ina's hand was a little bit back. But Ina's attacks have not been that great. Lee's been at least able to get away from most of them. But whenever Lee decides to march, that kind of fast tempo of march just feels so vulnerable to Ina's stop hits. Or parry post if she goes so fast she can't stop going forward. Again, that fast march. Ina's kind of on the defensive, but random off target happens, and that kind of puts a damper on things. Ina keeps coming. Lee finishes. That was a stop hit to the arm. Okay, that wasn't anything equipment oriented. Ina waits a little bit long. Now Lee starts again. And Ina can't land the riposte that close, but again, Lee stepping in like that feels a little bit risky to me. It's just really a matter of time before Ina can pull the distance enough to land that riposte as Lee tries to step in. That's from the right, yep. So Lee tried there, just simply lunging right into the early part of Ina's march. But this time Ina is able to find the target. And this time, Lee was going forward there at the start, but oopsies, someone is... Okay, that's Discord. I can ignore that. Lee again being very aggressive here. I'm not sure how I feel about that, especially now. This is a very fast bout, actually. Alright, Ina marches. Lee manages to find the parry, but infighting as a result, and she finds the target at the very end. So that situation where she was stepping in was nice because she had the right of way, She didn't really have to be afraid of Ina getting away from her. Two very long attacks off the line, simultaneous. So that was a good situation, but what? That's attack from... Ooh. My instinct would be to say attack left. Didn't look like Lee stopped that much, but the referee is going to have a second look. Because Lee starts kind of with that jumping motion, there may be enough for the ref to call first attack no. I'd be a little bit surprised if that happened, though. Really? Okay, okay. I thought he said attack stopped, but Ina didn't really do anything into that moment, assuming Lee did stop. Ina didn't do anything into that, so Lee maintains the right of way. This time being a little bit more patient on offense, which I'm more a fan of. Manages to break inside the distance. Final call is parry post from the right, though. There were two blade contacts there in very quick succession. More marching from Ina. Lee keeps it really wide on defense here again. She's able to get away from these attacks. Ina knows that, so she just kind of throws it out. Lets Lee have the attack. But, again, Lee having the attack isn't necessarily an advantage for her because Ina's got that stop hit. It's all distance, though. Ina kind of unlucky to not get a light there again. Good on Lee for staying in it, though. Ina marches. Again, Lee keeps it really, really wide distance. Breaks inside and can't find the target again. Wow. I don't want to knock on these two very hard because they're quite good at fencing, but that was pretty sloppy. There have been a few of actions like that. And again, Lee almost impales herself as Ina makes the parry riposte. Like, you might think getting away would be a better situation there, but it looks like Lee's coming on so strongly with that attack that she's not even able to do anything other than try and crush the distance after it fails. Like, when she does that and crushes the distance on defense, it seems a lot better to me. Especially because she usually has the blade when she does it, so there's less of a threat of instant riposte from Ina, just impaling her. Ina doesn't quite have the reach to finish right into the end there. She could have made another step forward, but that would leave her vulnerable to Lee stepping in again. And with the score of 13-10, this has been a lightning of a bout. A lightning of a bout? That's a really stupid expression. I shouldn't say that. But this this has been a really fast bout. 13-10 in the first period. Maybe chalk that up to these two have seen each other so much that like they can skip that kind of typical early reconnaissance period where they settle in and figure out what their opponent's doing. I imagine having seen each other so much, these two will cut right to the chase and start trying to score in earnest. And that certainly seems to have been what's happened here. Again, we have to highlight Ina's stop hits as she runs away, because those are absolutely deadly. It doesn't matter who her opponent is. In my opinion, fencers like Lee, though, who make a faster and kind of looser march, are a little bit more vulnerable to that. Also, the double threat of that and parry riposte. You can't really deal with one and the other at the same time if you're making a fast march. Because either you're committing early enough that the stop hit isn't a problem, in which case you're vulnerable to parry riposte, or you're keeping your arm a little bit more withheld, but that makes a stop hit much easier to land before you can get your arm out to finish. So, Ina with the advantage. Not insurmountable by any means, but given how this bout's progressed, Lee's going to have to be very careful in her attacks. It's mostly been when she's attacking that Ina's been able to score. Lee's actions on defense have looked much safer. So we'll see if she's going to make that adjustment. Nope, does not look like it. That was a really big first advance from her, and now Ina's within one. Again, Kiefer hesitates, and this time Ina just takes it over with an attack. And probably one of the fastest women's foil bouts I've seen in a long time between two fencers of such close skill. But yeah, so it looks like Ina's going to go on to face Jeon Hee-suk, the winner of the other semifinal that I commentated last week in the final. And assuming there's no commentary already on that, I don't think there is, I'll do that next. And that'll be up on Monday as usual because I don't have a website to deploy this week. In other news, Chuldo vs. Chung is coming ever closer to completion, maybe next week, maybe the week after that. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp.